We are rolling.
We are rolling. Hello.
We're back at last.
Yeah, we are here. Long awaited. Episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
You
Sorry it's so long in between episodes.
Guys, we're busy.
We're adults trying to have a schedule together.
Yeah.
For something. And that's not the easiest thing.
They were holidays.
There was.
It's a new year.
It is.
This is the first episode of the new year.
That it is.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's
Happy
January
2024.
25th.
Only a month later, are we saying it?
Yeah. But guys, we are committed this year for both of us.
Yes.
Is a social media, primarily YouTube focus year.
Yeah.
And this is on our list.
Yeah.
So you can count on us for at least one episode a month. We're going to, and hopefully more.
Yes.
But we're no longer doing this 2-3 months kind of
gap
thing.
in between.
Yeah.
But we do really appreciate you guys asking and still liking us,
Yes.
even though we wait so long.
I'm always concerned you don't like me. So it's good that you do.
We love the validation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You don't want to see me when I think you don't like me. You know, the cool guy facade out the door. But what did I do? But what did I? No. It's okay. Let's just talk about it. No, we're just going to talk about this.
Yeah. But we thought it would be fun to kick it off with reading some of the questions that you guys left in the comments for us.
To thank you all for being so patient. Yes. We are dedicating the majority, if not all of this episode, to reading every viewer question.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll jump in.
So let's do it. Yeah. Okay. And all of these are from YouTube, but we would also love any questions, comments from you guys everywhere. Spotify. Apple does comments too, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably.
Leave them everywhere.
We didn't check that one.
All right.
So if you commented on Apple,
Sorry,
let us know next time, and we'll make sure we do that. Should we do any level of introduction or just jump in?
Oh, do you have something you'd like
just
to say?
You know what? I always like to think that like we should treat every episode as if it's someone's first episode.
That's true.
You know?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Hello, newcomer.
Hello.
My name is Dorothy.
Hello, my name's Zach. And this is GingerUnscripted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably say that at the
This
beginning.
is a podcast. We're two ginger people, one real, one fake. We're not telling you which is which.
Take your guess.
Yeah. You know, the lighting really makes that easy. But in real life, it's slightly harder. Listen, one of us is on a box of hair dye. So I would believe that's a real person.
And
they wouldn't let a
the
fake ginger
other
be on a
one
box.
of us inspired the color that's on the box from their existence.
That's really nice of you to say.
There you go.
Yeah, they're back there and they're like, there's this guy in California. We gotta copy his hair.
We gotta mock that hair.
You know, every time I go in for a haircut, and this used to like be like, I don't know, like a small little like feather in my hat when I was like a kid. Every single barber, a female barber, would be like, "Oh my gosh, is this your natural color?" And when I was 10 years, I'd be like, "Yes." And they're like, "People will pay for your hair." But back then, like, gingers weren't cool. And I was like, "Yeah, right. I wish I had cool straight hair like Justin Bieber." But look at us now.
Look at us now.
Look at us. Fuck
You
Justin
are the
Bieber.
flex. The swoosh.
Yeah.
The JB swoosh.
Yeah, now it's more of just annoyance.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Anyways,
thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
There is not really a thesis for this podcast other than two people who really enjoyed their time together.
Yeah.
And work in the same field.
Yes.
And we're like,
never shut up.
yeah, that seemed good. We're already doing this by ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're like, why don't we do it together?
Exactly.
And
See,
here we are.
if we weren't here on this podcast talking to you together, we'd probably be at home talking out loud to our cats.
Yes, absolutely.
By ourselves.
Yeah.
To ourselves. So
My cat's pretty much the only person I talk to.
yeah. So we got to give it an outlet.
Yeah.
You're our outlet.
Thank you for listening. This isn't one of those like fancy like wellness podcasts or like where we have experts on.
You will
or
not
anything.
better yourself from listening.
This is literally like if you find either one of us enjoyable, then you'll just like listening to it. And also, maybe you're hate listening right now, and that's okay
cool too. Yeah.
Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, we can appreciate a quiet hater.
Yes, yeah, but those loud haters, cringe. Cringe. Keep your hate to yourself. Let it bubble and push it down until it fills you with resentment that you'll carry for the rest of your life, like a normal person.
And with that being said, welcome to Ginger Unscripted.
Hello. We love all of you.
Love you so much.
Except you loud haters. Then it's a little bit different. First viewer comment.
So the first viewer comment question is from Sydney M4500.
Welcome in, Sydney M4500.
Yes. She said, if you were a kitchen utensil, which one would you be?
You know, I really like in the kitchen the what? What's that funny?
I don't know. Just go on.
It's okay, all right. That's what to say. The rubber spatula things that you use to like get all of like liquids or dough or whatever out of bowls. And every time I'm like, no way this is going to get everything. But it does every single time. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, guys, we're not going to put up a picture because that would take an extra step. And the second thesis of this podcast is
we're very simple.
as little of work as possible. Like we struggle to even get one out every 4 months. Like you guys need to relax, okay? But you can picture it. Think of like a regular spatula, but instead of the spatula head, it's like a little rubber.
Yeah, a rubber spatula.
A rubber, is that what they're called?
That's what that's called.
Oh, okay. Well, I did a thing that was very simple and kept talking. And
that's great.
Yeah. What about you? What would you be?
Can I be like a very specific?
Yep.
Okay, that's more of like an appliance
that's
than
okay.
a utensil.
If it's in the kitchen, it's allowed.
But she said utensil.
Well,
this is what I was going to say.
I think
but I also,
appliances.
do you want to say why you're a rubber spatula? Because I feel like that's important.
I
for us
just
to know.
really like them, and I am always surprised at how good of a job they do. And I feel like that is also like explains me a little bit. Like, you know, every time you're like, oh, he's not going to be able to do that. And then they're like, wow, you actually did a pretty good job, you know. But I'm only good for like one thing. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah.
I do appreciate a rubber spatula. As a baker, I do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you two answers.
Okay.
If I'm allowed to say an appliance,
Yep.
I would say very specifically my pink KitchenAid that I have. And I'll give you reasons. One, it's pink.
Yeah.
And that's so cute.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
And two, if you've ever baked anything in your life, you know dang well how efficient mixers are. They're so helpful.
Yep, I don't have one, and every time I'm like, this isn't
Just
efficient.
worked in your arms.
Yeah.
And I like to think of myself as a helpful person.
I would say so, as someone that's known you for how long?
No idea. How many years? I have no idea. Ponder that.
Yeah.
And then my other option, I would say, is a whisk.
Okay.
I don't know. They just seem kind of fun to me.
Do you like to whisk things? At first I was going to say beat things, but I was like, that's not so. But you use a whisk to beat eggs and things.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more like brownie mix.
Yeah.
I'm really in the baker mentality right now. But yeah, and then you know how like when you have like, you know, leftover brownie mix and you get to the person that you love and maybe it's just you in the kitchen and you're like,
Dorothy's got someone she loves in the kitchen.
do you want to lick the whisk?
Yeah.
And you know, and it's so delicious, but there's always that like one piece of chocolate on the inside in the corner that you can't reach, and I feel like that's me.
Have you ever I can already tell. Every episode we could an alternate name for this podcast could have just been like intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
But so my intrusive thought for you is: have you ever taken the whisk and just like put the whole thing in your mouth? Just
of course.
I won't pantomime it because you guys are freaks. But you know, just like whole whisk.
Of course. I thought you weren't gonna pantomime it.
I couldn't help it.
Somebody make that a GIF.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you got to. I mean,
there are dozens of hours of me on my own Twitch streams gurgling girthy things. You know what I mean? You're telling me in your Twitch streams you never go like, you know?
No,
I've been known. I got banned on a TikTok live Do we usually curse in these?
I imagine there's not a chance that we haven't.
Yeah.
I doubt we haven't.
I got banned on a TikTok live because I often go live on TikTok while I go live elsewhere for saying bag of dicks. And at the time, I was referring to a union I'm affiliated with and something that I thought that they should ingest. And so it's like a joke in my Twitch community. We even have like a little emote, and it's a bag, and it says Richard on it.
That's funny.
Yeah, so
Bag of dicks.
I feel comfortable paying to mind that. But anyways, yeah. Have you ever done the whisk trick with flour? Where you you dip, I don't know, maybe this is just a TikTok thing and people don't actually do this, but they just dip the whisk into the bag of flour and then they pick it up and then there's a bunch of flour like trapped in the middle of the whisk.
That just seems too risky and obnoxious and messy. Just use a cup.
Yeah.
Those
are like those terrible college hacks that were like huge on like BuzzFeed back when we were in college, where it was like college hack. Want to make a grilled cheese? Take your toaster, put it sideways. And I'm like, I don't think that's a hack. I think that's just like a more inconvenient way to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, who is measuring with a whisk? I would like a whisk full of flour for this recipe.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, thank you so much, Sydney. Mm-hmm. That was lovely.
Can I read the next one?
Oh, of course you can. Yes. There.
Laced with uni, what weapon would you pick for a zombie apocalypse?
Probably like a machine gun, like a like that. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, then, my question for you: what are you gonna do when you run out of ammunition?
Oh, having like unlimited ammunition is not an option. Okay.
Well, I think. Yeah. I think not. No, it's a zombie apocalypse.
I see.
I feel like ammunition is going to be one of the first things that people are pilfering from places.
That's a good point.
Become maybe even a trading currency.
Okay, so it's not a hypothetical situation where we have everything we need. In that case,
I mean, you can have a machine gun. You just will run out of ammo and have to find more. I think it's a very good weapon. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to criticize your choice, as I am only seeking to clarify.
Well, I would want something. You know what I would want?
Yeah.
I would like the long chain with spiky balls.
Oh, yeah. A maul?
Sure. I want them to be.
I feel like I could have said anything. You'd be like, yeah.
Yeah. At a distance. Die from a distance.
From a distance.
I don't want them to get that close.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I feel like I watched a TikTok of someone talking about the best zombie apocalypse weapon.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those, like they kind of look like a long walking stick, and one side has like a hammer, and then the top is like a spear. And he was talking about how it's good because you can like spear things with length, but you can also like club things with the hammer part. I don't know what those are called.
Yeah.
But that would be mine.
Spear hammer.
Yeah, I think having a melee weapon would be advantageous because unlimited ammo. It's just a strong.
I hope it's a strong spear.
Yeah, that'd probably be my pick.
Yeah,
or maybe just like it's pretty. I feel like the zombie apocalypse. There's always one guy who has like a bat that just has like barbed wire wrapped around it.
That's a vibe.
I feel like for the role play of the zombie apocalypse, I'd like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem as good of a weapon.
Yeah. I think I would like a really sharp axe.
Yeah.
Too. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like an axe, cut the head clean off in like one swipe with good aim.
Do you know how to swing an axe properly? I was watching something very recently. Oh, I was watching Love on the Spectrum on Netflix. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it.
I just watched it. I really enjoyed it. It was really wholesome and cringy at the same time. But they were like on a date at two of the people, and they were at like a medieval fair, and the hammer game where you try to go
fair. Up. Yeah.
And none of them could swing a hammer or an axe properly. Do you know proper technique?
I love how you brought all of that up
just to say that. Yeah. That's what we do here. This is my safe place to.
No, I've not practiced. I know proper sword technique.
Really?
I do. Yeah. I took sword fighting classes for a while.
Was that for like stunt experience?
It was.
Okay.
It was.
I have some friends doing that right now.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Well, hire Dorothy for all your sword stunt needs.
But no, not axe. I've always wanted to go axe throwing, but I don't trust people in the public enough.
Yeah, it's pretty safe though. It's like, everything's kind of like all caged off, and then like everybody has to be behind, like almost like a subway.
Have you seen the videos on TikTok? I feel like I've seen too many where it bounces.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just the places I've gone. I feel like you have to.
Oh, you've gone?
Yeah. I think maybe like 2 times, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I've gone to LAX.
Okay.
Yeah. You're allowed to drink there, which is interesting. But they cap you at 2 drinks.
Okay.
Which is probably smart.
Yeah, definitely smart.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, for an axe, I could be wrong. Guys, you can, because I don't do a lot of axe chopping, but you put one hand at the top, one hand at the bottom, and as you're swinging, your hand goes down with it.
Oh, interesting.
And that's what enables you to give the momentum. Oh. Kind of come up for the control and come down with it.
Great.
Could be wrong. That was my understanding.
Axe 101.
Let us know so we're
with
prepared.
Zach.
Yeah.
Any axe experts
Yeah.
watching or listening?
That's the next question.
Okay. Next question is from ADT Peony. What is one thing you have in your house that is out there but totally necessary for the vibe, and you love showing it to people when they come over, like the adult version of a cool toy?
Well, I don't invite people over.
Let's start there.
Yeah, let's start there. Do not come over. I've become increasingly antisocial as I've been approaching 30. I don't like to leave my house after like 5 or 6 p.m. When I am out, I like need to know in advance.
Yeah.
And I want to come home as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Like my idea of like a good time is like going out to get like brunch and then coming back home and not leaving again.
Yes.
But that being said, I'm not the kind of guy that would like be like show people around, be like, let me talk
Look at my cool item.
Yeah, look at my cool item. But I have a bunch of like little knickknacks that I've like collected over the years. Mm-hmm. And I have this little guy I really like. I found him in a thrift store in San Francisco a long time ago. And he looks like a circus vampire guy. He's just one of those that like is perpetually sitting. Okay. And the legs are just kind of like loose cloth. Like, those little, it looks like it should be in a grandma's house.
Okay. Yeah.
But for a while there, I was only collecting like weird, creepy knickknacks that could sit on my shelf. So I have like that guy and like a couple of monkeys and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I got some weird art from Goodwill. I've got this like weird Jewish painting where they're like doing like the Mazel Tov dance where they're like lifting in a chair. And on the back, it's like there's like this old newspaper clipping about some Jewish artist back in like the 50s.
All right.
And I was like, this belongs in my apartment for some reason.
Okay. That's great. Those are nice.
I shouldn't.
I don't think I've ever noticed these things when I've been there before.
Because they fit in.
No,
yeah. I'll point it out next time.
All right,
it's
great.
Literally when you walk in, it's the first thing. It's
amazing. I must see them.
Yeah. You must.
I must. I would say my cool thing, I thrifted this mirror, and it's a smaller mirror, and it's Playbill, like from when you go to Broadway and you get a Broadway Playbill. Yeah. So it's a mirror, but it says it's got like Playbill at the top, and it looks like a Playbill, but the inside of it is a mirror.
Where's this?
It's in my room. You can't see it from here.
Yeah.
But let me go look.
I'll be right back.
But I would say that's one of the cooler things that I've collected.
I like that.
But I concur with nobody comes into this house. No. Me and my cats.
Yeah.
Noki.
Miranda Parker 5249 says, which cinematic universe would you want to live in and why? Excuse me.
Probably like one where I have superpowers or something.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cinematic universe.
But like where there wasn't the responsibility tied to it.
So we could just like have everything we want and people left us alone.
Yeah. Like I had superpowers, but nobody knew about it.
I think it'd be pretty cool to live in like an OG like Tim Burton film.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just because they're fun and whimsy and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was also thinking like Fairly Odd Parents. I don't think is that a cinematic universe?
Sure, that counts.
Yeah. I'll take some fairies.
Yeah.
Some little Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
We talked about Fairly Odd Parents.
We did.
Last time or
That's
2 times
two
ago.
times in a row.
They don't make cartoons like they used to.
Don't.
You hear that? If you're a modern day cartoon artist, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? There was this girl on Love in the Spectrum. You got to watch this.
Okay.
You got to. Just go watch the second season.
Okay.
And she is acoustic. Have you seen those TikTok comments? Instead of saying autistic, everyone just says acoustic now.
No.
I think that's hilarious.
What is the difference?
It's just
It's just another word for it.
it's just like a joke because it sounds like autistic, but you're saying acoustic, like acoustic guitar, and it's just like a joke. So in the TikTok comments, it'll be like a video, and the top comment will be like, "Is he acoustic?" Instead of like, "Is he autistic?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it means the same thing. Okay.
It means the same thing. Maybe I don't know. I don't know who came up with it, but everyone on the show is acoustic, obviously, and she is like really into animation. Like she has been doing animation since she was a kid. She like teaches like kids on the spectrum like how to make animation and whatever. And it was so funny watching her because her like biggest criteria for like finding love was like they also had to be in animation. So she'd meet someone who like checked off every box and she was attracted to, and she'd be like, "But do you own an animation studio?" And they'd be like, "No." And you just see in her face that she was like,
It's not the
"It's
one.
never gonna work." And I just thought of that because we're hating on anime cartoons, old school cartoons.
Very good. Full circle.
I gotta stop with the ad lib.
It's great. It's what makes the podcast.
I've been watching a lot. I never watch reality TV. I hate it. I do not like it. But I watch Singles Inferno, which is a Korean reality dating show, and then Love on the Spectrum. And all of a sudden, I'm like, maybe there's some value to this genre.
Okay, have you watched Dubai Bling?
Dubai Bling?
Dubai Bling.
No, it is Dubai Bling.
It's just like rich people in Dubai and their problems. I love it.
What are some of their problems?
Well, they're like in their most of them are married or they're like dating and it's
on
just
Netflix?
like yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I enjoy it.
Is what you like to watch?
It's like
Did you watch
stupid.
Selling Sunset? Seems like something you
I
might
watched
enjoy.
a couple episodes, but I
watch it.
didn't get like fully into it.
I can't
no,
do
but my
the-
friends are obsessed with it.
I can't do American reality. I hate it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But after watching Love on the Spectrum, some people in my life who know me well are like, "What's going on with you, Zach?" So I'm like, I got some stuff, but I'm like, oh, maybe I'm a little acoustic. maybe just a little bit. But it was a good show. Let me unpack. But I'll have to check out Dubai Bling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fun.
So will you guys. Let us know in the comments what reality shows we should check out.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do an episode where we talk about one.
Yes.
That we have both seen.
Great.
Okay.
Next question. Did
Yeah.
I read the last one?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. This is from Mad Libby 4062. What is one place you'd like to travel to that you haven't yet, and what's the best trip you've been on?
I've always wanted to go to Tasmania,
Oh,
if you're familiar.
I don't really know anything about Tasmania.
Tasmania is like an island off of, I think, the Australian or New Zealand coast.
Okay.
I heard about it when I was like 5 or 6. I saw it on a map, and I really liked the Tasmanian devil from like Looney
Yeah,
Tunes.
that's the only.
And then I found out and then the same day I found out the Tasmanian devil is like a real animal, and they are these small, adorable looking, cute bear-like cubs, but then they can open their mouth huge, and it's just filled with like razor sharp.
Do they
claws.
look like?
Yeah, they look like baby cubs.
Do they look like
bear
the
cubs.
Tasmanian devil though? Like
No.
on the oh.
They look like just like a cute little brown bear cub, like a adorable little teddy bear with a vicious mouth, and they can just open their mouth really, really wide, and they have like such a strong bite force they can like bite through metal and stuff.
Wow.
And as a kid, I was just like, that sounds awesome. And I've never been to Australia, so I feel like I could do like a double dipper.
Is it
kind of
close?
vacation. Yeah. They're like, I think Tasmania. I could be wrong, but I think it's under Australia governance.
Okay.
And my community recently sent me somebody sent me a bunch of Canadian snacks, so I did a
Nice.
review of those.
Nice.
So then I got sent UK snacks and Australian snacks.
Nice.
Vlog coming soon, so I'm like competing both of those. And someone sent me a bunch of Tasmanian like chocolate and stuff.
Oh.
And it's good.
Ah.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay. Wait. And what's the best trip you've been on? Yeah.
I've been to Hawaii a few times with my family. I feel like I really like family vacations, especially now that I'm older and I don't get to see my family as much. So for my brother's birthday, I think like 2 years ago, it was his 30th birthday. We all went to Puerto Vallarta, and that was really, really fun. And then this upcoming year, I'm going to Tulum with my family for my 30th birthday.
Yay! Oh my gosh, the big 30.
Yeah. You want to come?
Yeah.
You want to go to Tulum? Everyone keeps hounding me. They're like, bring a friend, bring a friend, bring a friend. Because like I'm now the only like single one left in my family. My brother's married, and my sister's been with her boyfriend since high school, and she's like 25 now. But I'm just like, but you're welcome to join us.
Meet your mother at last.
Is
she coming?
Whole family.
Okay.
So fun fact for all you guys, my mother loves Dorothy, loves her. Dorothy and I met years ago, just like through our mutual work, and we like our first time hanging. We knew each other virtually, but we went to like a Vincent Van Gogh museum experience that was terrible. I heard they went bankrupt now.
Oh, they did. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
I'm glad.
We like went to this museum and like went to get dinner and then just like hung out for a little bit and stuff. And then I think next time I was talking with my mom, she's like, "Oh, like what's going on, whatever." And I like mentioned you, and then she did a deep dive, and she just loves your content. My mother is also like an East Coast Italian woman, and so I cannot free myself from like Dorothy questions every time I'm home. And I have friends that she's known for 15 years, but she's always like, "How's Dorothy? How's Dorothy?" And I had to let her down easy. I was like, "Mom," she's like, "Well, what about Dorothy?" And I'm like, "We're just friends, Mom."
It's not like that, Mother. I love the moms.
Sorry, Mom. She'll watch this.
Hi, Mom.
She'll be like, she'll text me. She'll be like, "Yes, please tell Dorothy to come to Tulum with us."
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I haven't been to that part of
we're doing one of those
Mexico yet.
resort things.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you have to there.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk
It'll
about it.
be August 15th,
August.
mid-August.
We'll talk.
All right.
All right.
Let us know below if Dorothy should come to Tulum to meet my entire. It'll be myself, my father, my mother, my brother, my sister-in-law, my sister,
Meet the whole family.
and her boyfriend Kevin, who is the coolest guy. I think I'd be most excited for you to
meet Kevin.
Yeah, it's a running joke that he's like now the favored son. Like my parents just love. Yeah, like I'm talking too much. Let's move on. Let's not talk about my family. My family loves my sister's boyfriend.
So anyways, one place I'd like to travel to is Italy. I mean, I'm just dying to I'm just dying to go to Italy. No, not yet. Okay. And my goal is to take my dad soon.
Nice.
So I wanna do that.
Yeah.
And the best trip I've been on, I would say probably like if we're talking about the place, not who I went with, but just the place experience.
Oh, no.
Probably Thailand.
Oh,
because a couple years ago, like 3-ish, 4-ish years ago. Anyways, but as far as the place, oh my, you live like a king or queen when you're there because like everything's so affordable cheap, and all the food's really fresh and delicious. Oh, I had the best time.
I've been wanting to go, but I'm afraid to go by myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's just a lot of people that go there for nefarious purposes. And I'm already a white man, so I don't want to be in that category. So I want to be with my friends, so people
come off less threatening.
So people leave me alone, you know? Like when I go to Mexico, and I didn't know this until my a manager at the time, who was Honduran, told me. But and you guys, let me know in the comments. It's just my own personal experience. But redheads are very popular in Latin America, and I was just getting pulled left and right. I was in a group. I tell you this story. I was in a group with all my like bosses at the time, and they're all really tall, buff, rich dudes, like wearing Rolexes and stuff. And people would like
love on you.
Yeah, they would be what I would assume, you know, top people you'd want to interact with, you know, because like they're tall, buff, handsome, and clearly rich, and I'm none of those things. And they would be parting these buff rich men trying to get to me. And then I didn't speak Spanish, and my friends from the Caribbean was there translating, and he was just cracking up. And they're asking me if you like need a wife, and I'm like,
wow,
no, I don't.
They love the redhead.
Yeah, you could let me know down in the comments. our Latin folks, is this off base? You tell me. It's been confirmed in my own personal life.
The next series of this podcast is just going to be
Everybody responding to the questions in the comments. This is why we can't do a viewer question thing, because I think it's funny to just then ask more questions. Let me know. Yeah, let me know.
So Thailand. Yeah. Yeah, as far as the place. Oh, yeah. And then I was actually getting massages twice a day, every day, because massages are like $10 for an hour there. All right. This next one's you.
Yes, let me know in the comments below.
Anybody?
Are you also afraid that strangers while you're traveling will touch you? Because that's a fear of mine.
I know a lot of people that don't like massages, though. Like, I've talked to a lot of people that just don't like strangers touching them.
I think the one time I went to get a massage, this was years ago, and my girlfriend at the time purchased like a couples massage for us.
Yeah.
And they made me strip down.
Oh, you were like full.
And my girlfriend was in the room at the time, so I felt safe.
Oh, right.
And but the lady, since it was a Thai massage, they were walking all over.
Yeah.
But the lady just kept walking on me. I thought it was only going to be for part of the time. My girlfriend, they stopped walking on her after 10 minutes. The lady just kept walking on me, and I have some back issues that but it's painful. I needed to get worked and stuff, and she was just really going for it.
Oh.
But I was too uncomfortable to say anything. And thankfully, eventually, my girlfriend stepped in and was like, "Hey, could you switch to using your hands and da-da-da?" But yeah, I'm I get anxious at the grocery checkout line. So I'm just interacting with people. I get anxious. Speaking of Grace, Grace M. Hoon 7957 says, "How do you make new friends as an adult?"
Yeah, you start with this since you said you had a great answer.
Right. So I think is your phone okay?
Why?
It's just what's going on?
What? Oh, that's just the cover. Don't worry about that.
God. In this case, I feel like it's
Listen.
okay. Okay, sorry. I had a little bit of caffeine before I came here, and I don't usually have caffeine, and as you know, it makes me a little crazy. So
that's great.
Thanks for sticking.
People
with me.
will enjoy it.
Ah, great. How do you make friends as an adult?
How do you make friends?
The two pieces of advice I could give you, the best piece of advice is become a regular somewhere. That's the best way to make make adult friends. It doesn't have to be a bar. It could be a coffee shop. It could be a bookstore, whatever. Become a regular, and then maybe you'll start seeing the same types of people or whatever. But however, if it's a bar or a coffee shop or a barista, the employees there will have your back. And this is coming from someone that's been a barista, has worked every single job. Once you get to know them, they will become your friend, and you can just be like, "Hey, I'm new," or "Hey, I'm trying to make friends and put myself out there." They will be like, "Oh, Dorothy, do you know Zach?" And they will hook you up. The second piece of advice, very similar, is just stick to a routine. So let's say you go to the library every day at the same time, or the gym is a really good one. Go consistently at the same time, and then you will start to get familiar with the people that do, and you will naturally start to have conversations and stuff. That's my advice.
That's a great tip.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah. I'm going to leave this one for Zach because I don't know how to make friends.
Hey.
I don't interact with people anywhere when I go anywhere, and I don't ever make new friends. So.
Me neither. But that's advice someone gave me, and I liked it, so I kept it.
So I know it, but I don't utilize it.
Yeah, and I especially I especially don't really interact with strangers as much. And, I told you a story off stream, and my stranger interactions have been not successful.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, people
But
interacting.
also take a class. That's a really good way too. Take a pottery class, take a dancing class, take an improv class, an acting class.
That's true. You know
any
what?
type
I
of
have
class.
made some friends from my improv class.
Yeah. Especially any type of acting related ones, because those fucks are gonna be social.
That's true.
Yeah, those fucking actors. Fucking actors.
All right.
Okay.
The Strupp said, if coffee was an illegal drug, what would its street name be?
Spicy beans.
Yeah, you got any spicy beans, bro?
Go-go juice.
Oh, that's a good one.
But it's got to have a level of intimidation maybe, or coolness, coke, meth, weed.
I'm thinking grounds.
Oh, grounds. That's grounds. That's what it would be.
Bro, I got the grounds.
Grounds. They might even just call it brown. You got any brown?
Isn't something else called brown? I think I think meth.
Meth? I don't know.
is
Let us know in the
referred-
comments below. Is there a drug called brown?
I think it's like one of the nicknames because of what it does to your body. I'll just say that.
It turns you brown?
No,
or it
no,
makes
no.
you poop?
That.
Oh, okay. I know meth messes with your teeth. That's what they say, meth, not even once. And as you guys know, I'm an advocate for recreational drug use, as we've said before. But don't do the hard ones, guys.
No.
It's not going to be worth it. It's only going to lead to bad things. Nobody ever was like, yeah, I did meth one time and it changed my life. Nobody's ever like, but they do say that about like shrooms. So like, maybe go that route.
All right.
You
Well,
ever done shrooms? Do you want to talk about
no
drug use?
comment.
Okay, yeah.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I've never done any drugs either.
Yep.
And anytime I've talked about it, it's always hypothetical. I have had intense dreams while I've done this, and I can speak to that as to my experience. But I've not done any drugs, and I know that I'm from California, and I look like I grow weed, but I did never a day in my life. And I certainly don't have it on me right in this moment. Hypothetically speaking, I've never done any of that.
Actually, if anything in this podcast ever implies that either of us have ever done anything bad ever, just know
real.
it's all hypothetical.
This is fictitious.
It's a silly little story.
Yeah,
Dorothy and Zach are not even our real names.
These are characters, guys. That's why online I go by Zach Cowan. That's not a real guy. And our artwork for this, they're chibis. Those aren't us. Those are fake people.
All of this is an illusion, actually.
You're dreaming. Wake up.
Dreaming.
Nightmare.
Good morning. Beep, beep.
We're actually here. This is a long, elaborate ruse to sell you extended car warranties. For 4 easy payments of $19.99, you could look like this. Also, did you guys notice we're matching today?
We are matching. If you're watching, we're matching.
I originally came in a different shirt, saw she was wearing green. I was like,
We got to match.
gotta do it.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you believe in soulmates?
In the sense that I think every person we meet is meant to serve like their purpose in our life.
So everyone just serves a purpose to you. Interesting.
Like serve in your life story.
I'm just joking. Yeah. Oh, so you use people, huh? Just like you use drugs. Dorothy doesn't do drugs, guys.
Oh my
She
gosh.
really doesn't. Outside of the joke, she doesn't.
Anyways, but in what sense do you mean?
How about platonic soulmates? Do you believe in platonic soulmates?
I guess the question really is like, what is a soulmate supposed to be?
For
like
you to decide.
You know,
That's for
yeah.
your- that's for
Because
your
I
own
feel like I've had even platonic soulmates, but they weren't meant to be in my life forever.
Oh, yeah.
You
sure.
know?
I don't think it necessarily has to
Yeah.
imply forever. I think just it implies that level of connection in some way.
I think for me, like a soulmate is always like somebody that leaves such an impact in your life in a way that like
mark your
shit.
soul.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not always a good thing.
I was going to say.
No,
that's bad.
but like I think it's always, well, if you do it right, it's for the betterment of your
Yeah.
kind of
That's always perspective,
experience.
right? Yes.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I believe. I guess in soulmates, I don't believe there's just like one person. I think as we grow and change as individuals, that unlocks different types of people or relationships we could have. As for like platonic soulmate, that kind of thing, whatever. I guess so. I guess that one doesn't make as much sense to me because I'm like, what's the difference between a platonic soulmate and just like a best friend? you know, or just like a really, really good friend. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Anytime I ever thought I had a soulmate, I was usually just being gaslighted. So it's a tricky one for me. Anyways,
Kind of same, minus the gaslighting, and they just didn't actually love me.
Well, there's that too, yeah.
Sometimes I worry that, I don't actually know what love is, and the people that I have loved, they like didn't love me, and the people that loved me, maybe I loved them but wasn't in love with them. So I'm like, how do you, I was like watching something recently, and it was like talking about that. It was like maybe like a podcast type of thing, and it was like a viewer comment, and it was like, hey, like I really love my boyfriend, and like he really takes care of me and is secure, but like I can't help but think like there's something else out there, or like, you know, like I had, you know, in the past, like, you know, he's just like too nice or whatever. And the person kind of clapped back and was like, well, maybe you're just like used to like more of like a toxic type love. So you're like relying on patterns that used to elicit an emotion and don't anymore. And I think about that. I'm like, oh yeah. Like, what if my earlier relationships that were more toxic or spicy, or like I was chasing them and they were kind of leading me on, what if that like set the example of what love is? And now later in life, when I'm finding more like sustainable love, I like can't turn off that part of me that's like, oh, like, but where's that excitement?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about all that?
And this podcast is not sponsored by BetterHelp.
No, I actually feel like we should never accept a BetterHelp sponsorship. You guys can do your own research, but from my understanding of BetterHelp, it's not a really good resource.
Yeah, no.
Nor are people licensed therapists on there.
Yeah.
Or some people are now.
Yeah.
But they really do. I don't trust any company that their whole marketing budget just goes to influencers.
Yeah, 100%.
Anytime like 8 different influencers
and it's supposed to be for
about
therapy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but please do.
But therapy's great for things like this.
What do you think about the stuff about like love? Did any of that like connect with you in terms of like
100%.
examples of what could we say to a viewer that was kind of similar to me, where like the loves they've experienced in the past were maybe like more passionate and stuff, and now they're something that's more like sustainable, but they are they're like, well, I'm not, I don't feel that same level of pitter patter.
I think one of the things I've started to realize is when you start to go into like adult love, it's good to start to think of things like a little bit more logically rather than so much with your heart, in the sense that like a lot of times our heart can kind of put on those rose-colored glasses of how we see things. But then also, too, like our heart can carry that like trauma from how people have treated us before. And that is kind of what we seek out. But if you start to look at things a little bit more logically and you think about like, you know, how does this person show me that they care about me? Is this person somebody that like I would be proud to be similar to? Or like on a parent level, like, is this somebody who I would be happy if my son was just like this person, or my daughter was just like this person? And you start to think about those things like a little bit more into adult love, and like, you know, am I proud to like stand by this person and who they are?
That's a really good point. I feel like I saw something recently and it was like 10 questions to ask yourself if you're like unsure of your relationship. And that was a big one. It's like, is this someone that like inspires pride in you? You know, is this someone that you're like excited to talk to or share their news? Like, are your wins their wins?
Yeah.
You know?
And feel comfortable like talking to them and safe talking to them. Yeah. And I think a big thing too is, you know, you also, I think it's better to choose love rather than to fall into love, because if you're like falling in love, a lot of times that same thing, it's like you're out of control of it, and you might just be stumbling yourself into situations that are not necessarily good for you or good and for your life. But choosing love, choosing loving, you know, that person that really is that safe space. And a lot of times it can be hard for us to do that because we have those, you know, that baggage and those things, and we tend to choose like the wrong people because that's all we've known.
Right. It's similar
in our experience. Yeah. So it's a tricky thing.
It's a really good point.
Navigating.
Well said.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Almost like we're both speaking from personal experience.
It's almost like we are.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
Next question.
Yeah. So I'll let you read it, but Tia, love you, one of my beloved Twitch fans.
Hello, Tia. If you could choose to be an animal for a day, what animal and why? If you could relate yourself to any animal, what animal and why?
Am I going first? You go.
Either way.
I would say if I could be one for the day, probably like a bird, because because you're just seeing all the stuff. That'd be cool. Flying around. Yeah, I'd be flying everywhere. Particularly like a really fast bird, so I could go as far as possible and see the most I can for my one day. Right?
Yeah.
But one that wouldn't die very easily.
Yeah.
And then if I could relate to any animal.
I feel like we're gonna have the same answers.
Oh, you think?
Where I was gonna say bird, you said bird,
that's
and I have something in mind for what animal you relate to, but you say yours.
Probably a cat.
Yep, 100%. Bird and cat. I was like, I want to fly, and then like I just want to I want to sleep all day and treat everyone like an asshole, and they're like, you're just the best guy ever. Like being reborn as a cat is like a win. Like you have to be like if you believe in reincarnation, like I feel like you probably got to be the best person to be brought back as a cat, because fucking cat parents, you wake up to cat shit on you, and you're like, oh, thank you for this gift.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you made a poo-poo. I was worried. Like we literally let them shit in the house, and we're like, all right.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that makes sense.
That's why we're besties.
Yeah.
Same answers. Same animal answers.
Bada
Go
bing.
find your best friend right now, and if they don't answer 2 for 2, just know that we beat you in like charades. group games.
Ginger Unscripted 1, you 0.
Yeah. Scoreboard, guys. Scoreboard. You pick the game. We'll play you.
Anyways.
For 100th episode extravaganza, us versus viewer duo board game night.
Okay. Our final this focus, I'm going to punch.
Yeah.
My pillow. Okay, this final viewer comment question is from Franny, which is another one of my beloved Twitch fam. Which actor, current or past, would you say reminds you of each other? So, like, who reminds you of me and who reminds me of you?
Okay. You know, I've thought about this, not with you specifically, but like this particular. You definitely have, I feel like an old Hollywood style. Like, and for those of you that are like kind of familiar, like, and I was thinking about this recently, like there's just like an energy that like Hollywood used to have. And I think everyone kind of just played into it because of like the celebrity, the unattainable. But everybody was like kind of very put together. Like, think like royalty, Kennedy kind of everyone was put together. They were very deliberate with what they said. They were very witty. They were very sharp.
Yeah.
So I would put you in like the Hepburn kind of category.
I love that. Yeah, that makes sense. If you look around my apartment, there's just photos of all of those Hollywood
100%.
starlets everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough because obviously, like, the first thing that comes to mind is not an actor but a character, and you already know which one it is.
Yeah.
You guys already know which one it is. It's Nick from New Girl.
Yeah, I was trying to do like a Nick TikTok earlier, but I was like, I couldn't get his cadence down, and I was like, this would be a lot easier if I could just use my voice.
You know, I don't think I've ever actually seen a video, an interview of the actor that plays. Is he like that?
He's the exact same. It is him.
Okay,
He
then
is
I'm
that
gonna
character.
say Jake Johnson.
Yeah. There was an interview recently because he was on a podcast with Bert, the Machine. You know the Machine. He's like the Bert Kirschler or something with a K. He's like the big guy, hangs out with Tom Segura. Doesn't matter. He's got a podcast. He was doing it with him. And he was talking about how like a story he was recounting. And I think like the creator of New Girl was like talking with him. And it was like how he just used to like have a mattress on the floor. He was like living out of his car and like, you know, would barely bathe. And it's like, oh, you were just Nick. And he's like, oh yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Do you have one outside of New Girl?
New Girl for you?
It's okay if not, because that one's pretty.
I know. I feel like that's so standard, but you really do just like embody that energy of him.
I think it's just because like because I've always been this way. I feel like he was just like one of the first. I feel like characters of just like. I just call it like comedically depressed.
Yeah.
Like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Whatever. I feel like the biggest difference between me and him is that I feel like I'm just maybe like a little bit more put together.
Oh, 100%.
But aside from that, mentally. All right, we can stick with Jake Johnson.
I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head. But now let's turn the question on you guys.
Yeah.
Who do you think each of us reminds you of actor-wise?
My first thought, I was going to say, but it was a character as well, was Jessica Rabbit. which I'm sure you had before. But it's mainly the hair, but it goes back. That's why I went with the old Hollywood. It's because she is an old Hollywood type.
Yeah, she has that kind of
like
same
that. Yeah,
vibe.
that kind of grace, kind of like sultry aspect, like, and that's what I really admire about you. I feel like you are really good at. I feel like using your femininity in like an empowered way, where it like elevates what you do. And I think about that for myself. I'm like, oh, like what parts of masculinity do I enjoy that I can like uphold and I want to uphold, but kind of leave away the rest. And I feel like you do a really good job with that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that you actually see me in that light, even though when I'm hanging out with you, usually I'm more of a menace.
Oh, yeah. Well, me too. Yeah, me too. Me too. But like because I do admire like the old Hollywood stuff. There's an actor I liked. His name is Richard Dawson. He was on like the Match Game, but like, I do really, really like that kind of a mentality. And I think about that, like, when or if I'm on talk shows, like, I'll probably be that blend of kind of like the Nick Miller, but I do really like that, like the actors, which is ironic because we're like influencer content creators, but I have always gravitated more towards like the actors that are like, no, that's like a brand and that's like my facade. And then when I'm out, like Alexa Demi, like she doesn't have any social
I love
media
that
process.
so much.
So it's ironic that we do
I
what
know,
we do now. Where
I
I'm
know.
like, oh,
I would
like,
love to be mysterious.
If I book something big tomorrow, but I also know that even if I book something big tomorrow, like I would stop all of my like social media stuff now that I'm doing like in terms of like a job, being specific, being like on top of whatever, and I would just go back to what it used to be like for me, which is just like a fucking meme. So I'm sure there'd be some days where I'm posting like 60 Instagram stories about whatever thing I'm trying to cook and how it's whatever. But then you wouldn't hear from me for like weeks.
Yeah.
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 That was our last question?
Well, that was the last viewer question, but I have one thing that I think would be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in the timing of the season.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Valentine's Day? Since it's on the horizon, I think it'd be fun to ask.
I'm not a fan.
What do you not like about it?
Well, I don't like that it is such like it just feels like such a capitalistic holiday. It's like, hey, here's a holiday that is just focused around like buying things and like going places, and like it feels like the focus is more on the holiday rather than like how you feel about the person. And I feel like it has so much pressure surrounding it, and I feel like it causes more issues for people than it does not do that. And it feels like a Hallmark holiday.
Yeah,
but I do love love.
Oh, that's fair.
But the whole, I don't know if I've had a good Valentine's Day. I think I've had like ones that I've like survived and were decent. And
That's a good point. I don't think I've had a good one either.
Especially as a guy, like it feels like it's so entrenched in like gender roles.
Yeah.
Where it's like, find your Valentines, like get a reservation, go do these things, make them feel special, and da-da-da-da. And like, I'll never be the guy that like complains about that kind of stuff. Cause like, I'm fine with it. And in a lot of ways, I feel like I do take on the provider male role in my relationships.
Yeah.
But just having a day where I'm like forced to do that, as opposed to like, oh, like I'd like to make my partner feel special, whatever. But let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong.
Somebody in the hallway just walked by.
What about you? How do you feel about Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have pretty kind of neutral feelings about it. Like if I'm in a relationship, I do expect for it to be wonderful and magical.
Yeah.
But not mostly just like thoughtful, like just something thoughtful done. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but but then also like if I'm not in a relationship, I'm not like I hate this holiday because I'm not in a relationship. Because my mom literally sends me like a gift every Valentine's Day, so I think it's cute to just think about like love and other aspects of your life too. And
how do you feel about like gifts in general, like gift giving, gift receiving?
So I think gifts is actually my biggest. When I took the little test for like love and whatever, and most of them are actually pretty balanced across the board, but gifts had a slightly one up.
In terms of how you like to receive
Both
love or
give and receive.
Got it.
And I think too, like my dad, that was our thing kind of growing up. Like we would always go shopping whenever we were together. And I think that was definitely and I do that a lot too, like with my friends. If I'm out and I see something, it always makes me think of people. And so I like it on both sides.
That's
nice.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of gifts.
Yeah. Getting them either?
I don't like getting them, and it stresses me out to give them. I'm a huge acts of service person. So it won't cross my mind to like buy gifts unless there's like an occasion. Like unless I like really see something. But that being said, when I'm with people, I do like in a relationship, I do like spending money on them. But I feel like that's, I don't know, for me, it's more like acts of service. It's like, I want to take care of you. I want to get you something you need. I want to get food. I want to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like receiving gifts. I tell, like on my birthday, I tell people like no gifts.
Wow.
Like I just want people to just be there, you know, quality time and acts of service.
Would you be like somebody that appreciates more like an activity together rather than like
100%. And I'm not like, of course I love gifts and like, you know, when they're thoughtful and I do, it stresses me out. Christmas stresses me out, but I do like finding good gifts.
Yeah.
But I tend towards like the more like thoughtful base. Like for my brother and sister this year, like I got them both like standing desks.
Nice.
Because I was like, well, everybody's working from home. Like,
that's a great gift.
But like I like the whole like and like, you know, my brother got me like an Apple Watch and like I really and like, you know, he's gotten me like AirPods and stuff before and I really enjoy it and it's nice. But if I'm like, you know, brass tacks, like what is going to pull out the heartstrings? Like somebody like getting me like a $5 thing, but it was like maybe something we talked about or something that, like that's going to be more like.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm a material girl at the end of the day. So
and I think that's totally fine. If anyone's listening and they are more in line with Dorothy, I think that's totally great. And everybody's different. There's no right or wrong answers.
Everybody's different.
Don't allow me to put anyone down because I'm like, Valentine's Day gifts. Like, I'm like, I'd rather just like get together with the people I love and like cook a nice meal and kind of do that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, I feel like this would be actually a perfect
time to wrap up.
Yeah, time to. So should we give our piece of advice?
That's something we do at the end of each of these episodes.
Yeah.
Both Dorothy and I give a little piece of advice, just kind of out into the world, maybe something that we've been thinking about recently or dealing with or what have you. And if it connects with you and you like it, great. And if it doesn't, you know, that's all right too.
Yeah.
You have something?
Yeah. I would say something big on my heart now is you can only control you. You can only control your reaction to other people, and you cannot control other people, how they treat you and their actions, and you also can't blame yourself for those things either, and you can't feel guilty about how other people are operating, how they're treating you, how they're operating in your life. And the best thing that you can do is just look after yourself and know that you're treating yourself good and you're taking care of yourself, and you're also taking care of other people how you need to, but you cannot blame yourself or guilt trip yourself for how other people treat you at the end of the day.
That's on them.
That is.
Not on you.
Yes.
That's good piece of advice.
Thank you.
Mine, I had it and then
it's simmering.
It kind of what was it? It was oh gosh.
What's the Jeopardy song? Do, do,
yeah.
Do, do,
you know, I usually put those in my YouTube videos, like my vlogs and stuff, but there's a couple sounds that are just like incredibly like DMCA, like litigious. Like,
and that's one of them?
Yeah, even like the Bo Burnham song. It's my Amazon Prime noise on Twitch.
Yeah.
And it's just like 5 seconds of like CEO, entrepreneur, and I'll have a 4-hour live stream and that happened twice. And then YouTube's like,
wow.
Can't be monetized, the whole thing.
Wow. Okay.
Mine, it was something about happiness.
Mm-hmm. It's right there. It's right on the horizon, the golden nugget. It's going to change somebody's life.
No, it's not.
Right here.
Yes.
There it is.
It was, and this is something I've been telling myself a lot lately, so I'm just going to direct it towards you guys. You guys are doing great.
Yeah.
And we are in like a very specific time, I guess, in like human history in terms of like how we operate. Like the 8-hour workday, the 40-hour work week, like electricity, that kind of stuff. Like that's all relatively new in terms of like human history. You know, because I've been thinking about mental health lately and some of the stuff I've been struggling with. And, you know, maybe you connect with this too, you know, like work anxiety and like the feeling to be productive and like the feeling like I need to do something or be something or get something done. Like it adds so much stress in my life. Yeah. And, you know, I had a day the other day and it was a very good day for me. I was fortunate enough to have like 2 different auditions and I got a live stream. Like it was a very good, productive day for me. And at the end of the day, like I still felt bad. I was like thinking about the stuff I could have done. And I realized I'm like, I feel like this on productive days. I feel like this on days I didn't do anything. So it clearly has nothing to do with what I'm doing. And I think about like as people, you know, for the longest time we were like seasonal workers, you know, we were like farmers. So you'd really only work a couple months out of the year, sun up to sundown. So I just try to remind myself that like we don't have to allow kind of external pressures to affect us. You know, if you're just showing up every day and like having a meal and like, you know, and just not hurting anybody, like that's a good day. Like you did good. So I just want to like send that to everybody out there. Like you're doing good. You're doing great. You know, wherever you want to be, like you'll get there. And just know like there were multiple periods throughout human history where people were very successful and loved and accomplished their goals. And they probably worked not nearly as much as us. So let's hope the 4-day work week is coming for everybody. And just remember there's more to life than making billionaires more money.
Yeah.
So that was a long ramble. I hope that advice worked for somebody.
I'm sure that touched many people.
You're doing great.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Money is fake. Work isn't real.
All of this is an illusion.
Yeah, but yeah. Wake up. Literally wake up. You're dreaming. The kids need you. You've been in a coma since 1994. Oh my gosh. What is your year of like zodiac sign? You know, like your year of the rat.
Rat.
What's that mean? You know?
I don't know.
Let us know
I've
in the
looked it up before,
okay.
but
Dorothy's year of the rat. I'm year of the dog. Let us know in the comments if we are representative of that, what each means, and if it makes sense. And when is the next rat year and when's the new dog year? Because I think this year is like tiger or dragon or something.
You guys have a lot of homework from this episode.
Yeah, and we're going to probably remember it.
We're going to be looking.
Yeah, we're going to be looking
for those answers and those questions. Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, guys.
Yes.
This is Ginger Unscripted with Dorothy Mannine, at Dorothy Mannine everywhere.
Yes.
Zach Cowan, at Zach Cowan everywhere.
Yes.
Please follow us on our other socials. As soon as our TikTok is able to live stream, we will live stream these podcasts so you guys can see it in real time and participate and that kind of stuff. And we just appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to listen, and more to come soon.
Yes. And always, like we did today, if you guys have any other questions you want us to answer, leave them and we'll give you a little shout out as we answer the question on future episodes. And we love it. It helps us think of things. So we don't always have to think of things.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You know, it is what it is.
It is.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Love you lots.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.